If you're using the LinkedIn event feature, there's actually a way that you can apply filters so that you're getting more of the right people to be invited to your event. This is Brenda Meller, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the LinkedIn invitation event feature to invite connections to attend your event along with filters. Let's get started. So on screen right now, you can see one of my upcoming LinkedIn events. This is going to be a live stream event where I'm hosting Natalie Benamou as a part of my series. And we're going to be talking about the best time to make a pivot in terms of maybe moving out of corporate and into a job where you're working as self-employed. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to scroll down, and I'm the person who created this event. So from my view as the event creator, you'll see under the share button, if you click on that share drop down, you're going to see invite. Now from here, this is going to show me a list of my first level connections in here. And you can simply scroll through these and just hand select individual people that you'd like to invite to the event. And then you can click on invite that number that you've selected. Or even better yet, let's use the filters. Now in this particular case, we're focusing on individuals who maybe work in corporate who are thinking about making that pivot to being self-employed. So these might be individuals who are working in certain types of industries, and I'm going to try to filter those out inside here. So you're going to notice that inside the event invitation area, you have locations, current company, schools, and then if you click on that right arrow, you have industry in here. So I'm going to toggle out underneath the industry dropdown, and you can see that you can either select from, they usually give you like 5 different industries in here, or you can type in an industry. So let's say I'm focusing people who are working in coaching. I'm going to just type in a portion of that keyword, and I see professional training and coaching is popping up as one of those options. And then I can click on show results. Now for this particular event, we're talking about making the pivot. So let's assume here this might include people who've already made the pivot and are working as a coach, or maybe people who are in corporate as well. Now I'm focusing on people who maybe are new to the coaching space. So they have professional training and coaching as a selected industry in their profile. And now I can go through here and I can hand select people, and we're only going to see a little bit of information. We're going to see your headshot photo, your name, and a portion of your headline. You might see for people like Jim, where they have certified executive coach as a part of it. Other times it might say business professional, a keyword or a phrase that's not really helping the right people to come up in here. So you can certainly just scroll through this list and just individually select people at this point, or maybe we can apply a second filter. So maybe I'm looking at people who are in the United States for this particular event. So this is going to filter out people who are outside of the United States. It's not going to show them in here. And it's only going to show people now who are inside the United States in here. So now I'm just going to scroll through the list and maybe hand select a handful of those individuals in here. After you've done so, you can click on invite, and LinkedIn will automatically invite them to your event. I also want to show you a little known feature that LinkedIn might not tell you about that's going to help you to invite more of your connections to your event. And it's not going to be as time consuming as going through and selecting them individually. Now, to access this feature, I'm on my desktop right now. I believe this works for mobile too, but let's focus on the desktop. So I'm going to go under the share icon. I'm going to click on invite. And you're going to notice right now there's no checkbox at the top, right? So I did this through trial and error, kind of figured this out. So let me just apply one filter inside here. I'm going to put United States as an example. And now you're going to see there's this mega checkbox at the top. And what you'll notice here is if you scroll down, you now have the ability, I'm just going to scroll down a page or two on here. Now I have the ability to select everyone who's in that viewable area. And if I were to scroll down on the right-hand side of my screen, I'm going to see there's 45 people. Now, in this particular instance, I don't want to just randomly invite people. I want to invite people who are the right type of individual who would benefit from the event. So I'm going to deselect this. By the way, did you know that you can invite up to 1,000 of your first level connections to attend your events every week? Okay. And this is across multiple events. If you only have one event, you can invite 1,000 to that event. So now what I'm going to do, keeping in mind, I've got 1,000 invitation event credits to use. I want to find the right people from here. Now, right now on LinkedIn, I have approximately, I think, 28,000 coming up on 29,000 connections. So I'm not going to invite all of those people. I don't have the ability nor the desire to invite them, but I want to find the right people to invite. So I'm going to focus on people who are in the United States. If I wanted to, I could put company or school, but those really aren't relevant filters for me to use. So instead, I'm going to click on industry. And in this case, again, I'm going to look at coaching. So professional training and coaching. Maybe I look at a couple of additional categories as well. Professional services, business consulting and services. Maybe I also type in the word marketing and let's see what's coming up in there. Maybe marketing services in here as well. I have advertising services. And I try to think about who are the other people that are doing business with me already and that might already be interested in a similar type of a topic. And I can back into the industries in here as well. So let me see if there's anything else that's coming to mind. Like maybe IT, if I type in IT, like what else is coming up in here? IT services and IT consulting. Okay. So now I've got multiple categories in here. In the United States, these are all people that are in the United States, and I've chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different industry categories, and I click on show results. We're going to give that a second to load. And you're going to notice some of these people, it already says invited next to them. Now that means I invited them. It doesn't mean they've accepted it, but it does mean I can't invite them again. So you're going to notice next to Ross and Christine, for example, there's no checkbox. So we're not going to double invite them on here. But what will happen is as we scroll down this list, you're going to notice it's kind of like when you go through Google, right? And there's never really a point that you reach the end of the internet, right? You can continue to scroll down. So what I've noticed is if you let it load and then you scroll down again, you're going to get that little moving circular figure, and then you can scroll down again. Now, I have noticed there's a few times where I've tried this technique and it hiccups. So try to do these in smaller batches, maybe even just do one industry category at a time. But once you've loaded this a few times, you're going to see it's taking a little bit more time to load and it's not giving me as many connections now. So then I'm like, okay, maybe it's reached its limit. So now I'm going to click on the Uber button, the big button at the top, and you can see within here there's 68 people that are now being invited to this event once I click on the button. So now I didn't have to go through and manually select each of those 68 people individually. Instead, I'm doing almost like a mass invite, but it's still being sent to them in a one-to-one fashion. So hopefully this is giving you some insight and some thoughts on how to use this event invitation feature for your events on LinkedIn. And I want to tell you a little bit of the backstory. What happened today is I received an invitation from a woman in my network for an event that she's hosting in New Jersey. And this is probably the second or third time she's invited me for an event in New Jersey. I'm in Metro Detroit, so I'd love to go to New Jersey to attend the event, but it's just not possible. It's more of a networking event that's happening periodically. So I messaged her back, and it made me look at the event invitation filters and realize that, yes, you actually can apply the location filter along with it. So I'm going to be sharing the video with her. I don't want to call her out because I don't want her to feel embarrassed or that I'm pinpointing her in particular. This is a common thing that happens on LinkedIn. There are features and nuances of the platform that LinkedIn thinks are intuitive, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just trying to see if we discover these along ourselves. But if you're hosting a local event, I highly, highly encourage you to use the location filter so that you're only inviting local people, especially if it's a chamber event. Now, if you're doing national conferences and things like that, you certainly can use this feature to invite people from across the world, right, to this. But if it's a local event and there's really not a great likelihood that someone from outside of your local metro area would attend, let's just focus on those local connections. Make that event more relevant to them. And that also increases the likelihood that they're going to accept that event and actually attend in person. This is Brenda Meller helping you to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. If you found this video helpful, I'd love it if you could drop a comment below and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great video tips like these. Thanks for watching.